Hi, students. So we're going to do this game together, and this is a circle game. So instead of our variables being placed in a line, they're going to be in a circle. And who do we have here? We have 8 variables. They're going to be called F, G, H, K, M, F, G, H, I, K, M, O, and P. So that is 8. Our first rule is this. These two need to be directly across. And from there, I think we have like what I would call 3 more rules. H and F cannot touch. H and K cannot be right next to each other either. And then we have this rule, the OI rule. Who is it that's clockwise of who? I is clockwise of Olivia. For those of you who are like, what is clockwise? I don't know what a clock is. I'm too young. When you go like in this direction, like in the manner of the clock hands, like this, like you don't go this way, you go this way. That's what clockwise is. So I'm trying to think like how would I symbolize that? I guess I would do something like, well, let's see, O and I need to be next to each other, so I'll draw a circle, and they have to go like this. Sometimes rules do not lend themselves to being easily diagrammed, and that's okay. So from here, looking at the first question, it's a partial inaccurate list. It's not a complete inaccurate list. They're not asking you for all 8 in order. They're saying which of these is like a clump of 4 in order, basically, like just select any 4 and go clockwise, any 4 of them. So I'm trying to think of how I would apply the rules because that's how I usually solve these. And my first rule is the FG rule. So what this means is that how does this apply basically to a clump of 4? Any grouping of 4, see 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. Any grouping of 4 is going to include exactly one of those. There's no way to create a group of 4 and leave out both. Then we would just have a group of 3. But there's also no way to create a group of 4 that contains both, because you contain both, that's 5. So I can get rid of both A and B because one of them has, let's see, A has both of those, that's not correct. B has neither, so that's not correct. And from there, I would just look at my other rules and see what else I can get rid of. The rule about H can't be next to F, H can't be next to K, that eliminates E because E violates that rule. And then the O and then clockwise of an I rule, this rule, that is violated by D, which has O and then clockwise right next to it, M. So no, this leaves us with C. So C is the correct answer. And something I like to do when I have a partial and accurate list question is to fill in the rest. Here's why. This is previous work that you can use again. Well, it's current work, but it's going to be previous work as soon as we move on. We can maybe use this to answer a later question. And since I've already got half of it, I might as well just see if I can fill in the rest, and maybe I can do it very easily. This is what they gave me. And I know that I could put O, I'd have to put O right here. And this leaves me with, what else needs to get filled in? I think just K and H, yeah. K and H. And the only rule about those two is that they can't be next to each other, which is no problem. We can just, either one of these go in either spot. So this is actually like 2 solutions. Also, let me interrupt myself. I like to always look for any kind of free agents, anything with no rule attached, and put a little asterisk right there. So I forgot to mark that, but M does not have any rule attached to it, neither does P. I just like to note that. It just helps me kind of, I don't know, it's just, to me, it's like an additional rule. So number 19 gives me a local condition. How could we possibly make that come true? I'm going to fulfill the local condition. Well, H and O need to be right next to G. I feel like there's going to be only one way, kind of, because G is right here, F is right here. So this OI rule is going to be important. O and then clockwise of it, I can't put O over here because then I would be on top of G and they'd be all smushed in. So O would have to be over here, H would have to be over here, I will be over here. And can I fill anything out? Anything else out? Can I fill anything else out? Well, maybe. I know that, well, yeah, I can. Can't I? H can't be, I have to fill in, what I have left to fill in is P, M, and K. Well, K can't go here. That's not possible. So basically I have two options. I'm going to draw them both out. F, G, H, L, I. I could put K over here, or I could put K right here. And then M and P could go like over here, they could rotate, they can go in either spot, it doesn't matter. So that's why I'm gonna put a circle around them. And then on bottom, we could have them also again in either spot. So I'll put a slash. So that's basically like my solution set for number 19. But I just fulfilled the local condition and even read the question. Okay, so they're asking me about who could like flank Peter, basically, who could be on either side of them. And if P is in that position right there, we could have H and K flanking it around him, which is answer choice D, right? Yeah. Yes. That is the correct answer. I have the game right here, so. Number 20, I would skip for now. That's just my strategic mind. This idea about like G not being next to H, I like to do things that help me create work. And there's a lot of ways to not put two things right next to each other. Whereas if we do have to put two things next to each other, there's usually just one or two ways to make that happen. I am going to save number 20 for later. Maybe I'll wind up coming up with some solutions I could use for that. I'm looking at my previous work and I don't have any solution where G isn't next to H. Yeah, so let's look at number 21. Ooh, so if M sits right next to O, I already have a rule about O, and that is this one here. So this means if M is there, M will have to, it'll have to be like M, then O, then I, going clockwise, basically. That gives us a group of 3, right? And so that means there's only 2 ways to make that happen. We would have to, because we only have, if we're going to place a group of 3, there's only 2 ways to do it. We could do M, then O, then I, that would work. Or we could do M, then O, then I, that would work. Don't write on your master diagram, by the way. Don't do it. So let's do that. Let's set this both up. I'm trying to keep this as neat as possible. So number 21. We have F and then G. Okay, so we'll start with M. Start with this one. Yeah, so what else could I fill in at this point? Well, I have my rule that H can't be next to F and also can't be next to K. I think that's going to be important because that means H can't be over here. And I also can't put H right here because my 2 remaining variables to distribute are K and P. This means that K would have to be somewhere right next to it. I'm going to have to move H all the way down, all the way next to G over here. Then what I'm going to have to do is make sure that K stays away from it, and then I can put P right there. This is my solution, or half of my solutions for number 21, basically. And what was my other solution? I was going to move that MOI around. I wish I had been a little more like planning things out with my space, but that's okay. This is a very sketchy game for me. Like I want to make a lot of sketches. Sometimes it bees that way and there's just nothing that you can do. Games are not always efficiently solved. So I could put M, O, and I like that, in which case I feel like we're going to have a similar thing happen. H can't be next to F and it can't be next to K. That means H can't go here and also cannot go in the middle because then, you know, K would have to be either here or here. We're going to have to move H all the way down next to G. And then K is going to have to be pushed away from H. And then P, the only remaining thing variable, would go right there. So what was the question on this? So given that local condition, which we already made, we fulfilled that, who needs to be next to Fiona? Well, I could see we could either have I and K next to Fiona or K and M. So no matter what, K, and that is correct answer choice C. Ooh, 22 is a minimum question. So if we go from I to M, clockwise from I to M, which I can actually see in my previous work, right here, I, and then one place clockwise of it is M. There's no spaces between them. I could have 0 spaces between them. Solved. Correct answer is A. Can't get more minimum than 0. So I was able to use my previous work. That is a win. Awesome. What about 23? If K is right across from I, I'm not looking forward to doing this one. Here's what I'm thinking. Well, I can see I have previous work where K is across from I, so maybe I can use that. That all these people could be right next to Olivia except for one. So looking over here, if K is across from I in number 18, then Olivia would have H and I next to her. So that means I could cross out C. Looking at my last one over here, Olivia would have I and M sitting next to her, so I can cross out D. Now what? Why am I avoiding doing this? Let's just figure this out. So we have FG. So as I'm seeing it, when we have K attached to I that way, like K is right across from I, also O is coming with it. Because for instance, if we had, let's say K and then I, so O would have to right away be there. So let's start with just this and say, what else would get filled in here? Well, H can't be next to either F or K. So this isn't going to work. This is dead because we have nowhere to put H. So we can't even use this. Like H cannot go in any of these spots. So let's try moving this around some more. Let's try saying K and then I. So in that case, we would put O over here. I'm just going to keep moving around this like KI beam, so to speak. We'll put O over there. And this means that where would H go? Well, H can't be over here because H can't be next to either F or K. So H would have to go here. And this means that P and M would be over here. And they could go in either spot. There's no rules attached to those two. So did that bring me any closer to? So now we could eliminate. We know that H and I could sit next to O. Did I already eliminate C? Okay, so that didn't really do anything for me. So let's see. Let's move it around some more. Let's move around our KI beam. There's no way I could do that because then O would have to be over there. So let's keep moving it. Do K and then I and then O is right here. So now we just have to plop down H. Well, H cannot be here and H cannot be here. It can't be next to either F or K. So H is going to have to be here, which means that P and M could go in either spot. And so who could be next to Olivia here? We could have either I or F. So I can get rid of A now. Awesome. A is gone. And now I would just move around my KI beam, as I'm calling it. F and G. Could I do that? Could I move it up one like K and then I? Yeah, and then O would be right there. That works. So now H would have to go over here. So this way it won't be next to either F or K to be one of those spots. And that means either P or M could go in either one of these spots. So either P or M could be next to O. So that means I can get rid of E. E, by process of elimination, is the correct answer. That's the one that can't be next to O. How do I know it can't be next to O? Because I put everything else next to O. So that is my work for number, what's that, 23? Oh, I'm getting tired. I'm getting tired, but I'm like bound and determined to finish this. We have 2 more. If Carl sits directly across from Harriet, what is the minimum? Okay, I don't want to read this out loud. If that happens, then what is the smallest number of people between 2? Do I have any instances where Carl is right across, where K and H are right across from each other? I only see one. This might, where did my work go? That was funny. Okay. I only see this one, but maybe it could help me answer the question, because this is an example, a solution where K and H are right across from each other. So in this instance, I have exactly 2 spaces between those variables counting clockwise in the manner. So this means I can get rid of D and E, because I know that it's not the minimum 3. I know it's not the minimum 4. It's minimum 2, or maybe minimum 1 or a 0. I don't know. Let me read this. Could I possibly, let me make a F and G, okay. Could I possibly move G delta? Could I possibly move K even closer so that I have less than 2 spaces between? I just have 1. Maybe. Let's figure it out. So we need H right across from K per the condition of this rule. And then what else needs, okay, so no, I can't do this. You know why? Where do I put my OI? Oh, they need like a little block, a little like, they need like 2 seats next to each other. They don't have that. So we can't do just one spot. And I feel like we probably aren't gonna be able to do 0. Let's try it though. Let's try moving K to, let's try moving it to like 0 spots between them. And again, we need to put H right across from K. So in this case, well, I feel like this is a problem because it puts H and F next to each other. And that was like strictly not allowed per the rules. So we have our correct answer choice, minimum spots 2, and that is answer choice C. Yeah. Oh, we're down to the last one, and it's this one here. Okay, this one says, okay, good. So now I have some previous work. I can work with that. Oh, no, I don't. I'm so angry. In every single one of my solutions, G and H are right next to each other. Okay, there's no point getting mad. How am I going to move G and H like not next to each other? I don't know. Let's try it. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to move H around into basically all of the other spots that are all the 4 other spots. Let's just do that. And, well, actually, we don't have to do that. Hello. I couldn't put H in any of these because H can only be here or here. It can't be next to F. So we only have 2 actual solutions to set up. I'm trying to figure out where to put them. I'll put this one over here. So we have F, and then we have G, and so H could be here. Now, if H was right there, what else would I know? Well, I would know that K would have to be somewhere on this side. Okay, so K has to be somewhere on that side, and so does my OI block, actually, because K can't be next to H. My OI thing, because we need 2 spots next to each other. So here's what I would have to do. I'd have to O, and then I, and then K, and this means M and P could go in either of these spots. So maybe I've already got to the answer. I do. The correct answer choice is A. People who could sit on, people who could flank M They could flank him are these two, F and H. So that is the correct answer. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I finished this whole video. My dog was good. She's sleeping. Y'all, thank you so much for watching this. I absolutely love making these videos. I love teaching the LSAT, so it's just always a pleasure. I really mean that. This was a viewer request, or a student request, I should say. If you have a request for a game video that you want me to do, I'll do it. Put it in the comments section or the comments box. And if you would like to, please thumbs up this video and subscribe to this channel. I'll see y'all later. Bye.